then you need Zillow.
So, Lanny, what one about this one?
Look, I love this. I just love it. Maybe it hit real close to home for me.
As New Yorkers, I think we're a little bit more primed to real estate porn.
It may be, yeah. Whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's being a New Yorker, if it's like being cooped up in my house for a year or my apartment for a year, and so looking at houses on Zillow is a huge pastime for me. But yeah, it was so relatable, like that whole thing. Like I was just like, oh God, this is too real. And then I thought the mapping onto a like sexual commercial, like a phone sex commercial, was so spot on. Like this was just like textbook, just perfect. And it also was like like I don't always love textbook perfect sketches because I think they can be boring, but this one particularly for me, just personally hit very close to home. And I also have talked to many friends who also have been having a lot of Zillow time lately and Street Easy and all that. So I think this struck a chord at the perfect time. So call me biased, but I loved this so much.
Yeah, I ate this up too, and you hit the same 2 points I was going to make again. The accuracy of this, and honestly, the audacity to call me out like this.
Yeah.
How dare you?
It spoke to me on such a personal level. Like I literally was looking at $1 million apartment the other day, and I was like, I'm going to tour it. And I messaged the guy, and then he emailed me back, and I was like, I don't want to go tour this. Like it was just so painfully accurate. I loved it. Like you said, they mapped it really well. I can't say anything that Lanny didn't hit. So, John, what'd you think?
Yeah, it's scandalous how many hours my wife and I spend looking at aspirational real estate listings, and all the more so in the midst of COVID, because I'm sure it's not a New York thing, but for New Yorkers, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, well, I don't want to be in the city. If what are my other options? And they're kind of like living vicariously through what they could get, somewhere out in the state.
Yeah, if I could just have one extra room between me and my husband, that would be great.
So this is definitely striking a chord. It's really, I think, tapping into something that is a shared experience for a lot of people. And as I was watching, I was just thinking, how many times have I finished like putting the kids down to bed and come out to the living room? My wife's got real estate listings like up on our big TV because it's got like a web browser in it, so she can like do that kind of stuff on the big TV. And then I think of like how many hours of mindless scrolling through listings we then end up doing, just chatting about, oh, I like the crown molding and whatnot. And then I think about, wait a minute, how many hours? What else could we have been doing? And then it hits me, late 30s. It's the truth of this is just, it someone was pulling from a very true place, and I connected with it, and I thought it was fantastic. Like you said, Lanny, a perfect mashup to map it into the whole phone sex thing. So no need to, I guess, reiterate all that, but yeah, this was great. This was so much fun, and always well produced with their pre-tapes.
And what was that joke? That was like there's a kitchen in the guest house. Like, oh my God.
Oh, but the property taxes. Yeah, no, it's so titillating.
Great. Yeah, the couple beats that I specifically want to call out were when he said, I would never live in North Carolina, but that was amazing. And then when I think it was Bowen just sliding the slider up for like what the max search was. Yeah. Those were two moments that were big wins.
Oh, so perfect.
It was good.
Congrats to the writer. Congrats to the cast. Congrats to the producers.
So we might as well, because that's Anna Dresden and Streeter and Mikey, right?
Directed by Paul Briganti, who we've been talking about a lot.
Bravo.
It felt like there was some Anna Dresden in that. That very much feels like something that she would enjoy, finding some gags for. That big first, like, I think, unqualified win of the night.
Yeah.
I'd never live in North Carolina, but if I did, I could buy a big, gross mansion.
Let's get into our overall thoughts. Lanny, what was your moment of the night?
Moment of the night for me has to be the reveal of Zillow. The reveal of the phone call into
Mhm.
like what is the sexy thing? Like you're in your mid 30s and what are you doing instead? You're on Zillow. Honestly, yeah, I just felt so seen and I just felt so like, oh, how comforting it feels when you're just like, oh, everyone else too.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the same thing because it started and I was like, oh, it's going to be a music video. Oh no, it's a commercial parody. Oh, and it's a Zillow commercial parody. That turn it took, and I was immediately on board. It was unexpected, and it was so well executed. I ate it up. So that's my moment too. All right, well, let's get into our best sketch. Lanny, I think I know what it might be, but hit us.
Zillow.
Yeah.
Baby Zillow. It's Zillow. Zillow all day. Zillow all night. I'm gonna go to bed just thinking about Zillow and how perfect of a sketch it was.
Yep. Same. It was amazing. I've watched it so many times already. It's just so true and so well executed and so funny. I loved everything about it. There was nothing wrong with it.
Mhm.
John, what do you think?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Fun, a lot of truth on display tonight. There's a lot of sketches that were saying things that, like you said, Catherine, that maybe hit a little too close to home. But this was perfect. And like I said, this is I how many hours I've spent just kind of hunched on the couch, just flicking through Zillow ads. So great that one of the writers found that and then they figured out the perfect way to present it. So yeah,
Mhm.
Zillow all day, all night, Zillow.
If you want to see our full sketch by sketch review, search for SNL After Party on Patreon or subscribestar.com.